Hey guys, I wanted to react to the new Rise information that we have. We got a new trailer, we got some new monster reveals, some stuff I'm really excited about. I wanted to do it yesterday, but I was at work, so the best I can do is I can go through and break down everything. I have the trailer that came out yesterday here set at half speed because I've watched it a couple of times, but I go ahead and make sure that stays at 720. I wanted to break it down in high def, whatever, to make sure that I got every detail, showed everybody everything. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip straight to the new environments and then go back and watch the uh trailer part. So we're going to watch the part set in Camera Village afterwards. Also, you can see the ghoul friend in the back playing Animal Crossing. Alright, so, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this audio level down just a little bit, because it's going to sound weird because it's going slow. So, we get and we drop down into the flooded forest, or at a reimagining of the flooded forest, and the only reason I think it's a reimagining is I've seen a lot of people say that, and it does look a lot like it. I want to go back here, and if you notice, yeah, you can see the little... Oh, no, you can't see the little... exit full screen, maybe. Yeah, you can see the little piranha fish that they introduced here. Those are a new endemic life that we will get introduced to a little bit later. We can see jumping, you see these little platforms. Now, this is another reason why I think it's the flooded forest, is because this looks a lot like the area where you fought Gobel, his main area, like where you fished him up and stuff. Obviously, it's a reimagining, if it is. And I love this huge, very Aztec-y temple, the running on the sides. Also, I want to point out that one of our hunters here, this hunter, is wearing the Somnicanth armor. I know you can't see it really great right here, but we'll see it back when we go back. And here we see the Somnicanth. Now I really want to turn down the speed a little bit further even, excuse me, and watch it come in, because as we can see, it's rolling in on its back. It's got a lot of otter behaviorisms that I like. I don't know why they went with that, because it's based off of the Japanese mermaid who has the face of a woman, which this thing has a humanoid-ish face, but I don't know that I would call that the face of a beautiful woman. But I do like here this to me in its throat. That almost looks like the what you would think is like you would see off in the distance as a sailor, the like rib cage and face of a what you would think is a beautiful mermaid. But obviously it's about to put him to sleep, I would assume, so it can try and eat him, because we talk about those otter mannerisms a little bit later on in this trailer. You can see that it cracks a clam. I'm just going to use the term clam because it looks like a clam to me, over its stomach, and while it's on its back, which is a very otter-like thing. What otters are known for. And also, I'm going to dial back that whole Somnicanth encounter, and I'm going to let that play at full speed, and just watch the armor. This is an armor I don't consciously remember seeing yet. It looks a lot like the armor that the chief is wearing. Okay, we're going to go back to, I think his name is Figura, something like that. We'll go into detail about all the characters. I plan on going into detail about everything in this video that I can, so. Of course, we get Return of Royal Lodroth. We love the Sponge King boy. Baby, have you fought a Royal Wadroth before? Not yet.
Not yet that I remember.
We need to fix that. As well as the return of the Royal Wadroth, we have the return of the Great Ragi. Also, I'm going to go into a little bit of a segment here and say that this is none of what I'm about to say is confirmed. It is my own personal opinions and theories. I think that we're definitely going to get back Zenogre, Mizutsune, Madagatsuchi. Um, Basically anything from Portable Third, because Portable Third was so Asian inspired. I mean, like everybody loved it. It is the fan favorite. Though not a lot of people actually got to play it in the US. It was more of a niche thing because PSP Monster Hunter on handhelds never really reached the US until Try and you blah 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 blah. Okay, back into the video. So we have confirmed return of Royal Odroth and also confirmed return of Great Ragi. I'm not super excited about that. I didn't like Ragi in third, but it is good to see a familiar face. We see the bone armor here. And also that looks like a wire bug thing. Hold on. That's something that I actually didn't notice until this playback. So, Great Ragi again. Yeah. He's doing a wire bug thing, and it blocks the attack. It blocks the water ball that Royal Ludroth spit. That's interesting. I hadn't noticed that until this watch back at slower speed. Now, I wonder if the wire bug thing is a counter for heavy bow gun, because I think that was heavy bow gun. Because that's what it looked like. Because after he blocked it, he did the thing. Of course, gotta love these, super attack on Titany switch axe, attacks. Me being okay, I'm gonna pause it here. Me being a super big switch axe fan, as well as a hunting horn fan. I meant to say this when we were looking at Somnicanth. It's worth a mention. The monster names are different in English. Sorry, I had a brain fart. That will definitely be edited out of the video. So the monster names are different in English and Japanese. The Japanese names for Somnicanth and the one that we're about to see, Bishaten, the Japanese name for Somnicanth is Iso. Excuse me, let me try this again. Iso Nemikuni. And the Japanese name for Bishaten is Bishutengo. Those are both, they include a lot more of the inspiration of the yokai. The yokai that they're, based off of. The Somnicanth being the Japanese mermaid, and the what is it called? Bishaten being the Tengu. So now we're gonna get into the Bishaten. And again, I'm gonna let the Bishaten play at normal speed, so you can see it in all its glory and talk about it. Hopefully I can get it as fast as I can. If not, I'll pause afterwards. Oh, that's 2 times speed. Sorry, I'm dumb. Bishaten. Very swift, very agile. I like the way he sits up on his... Okay. There's a lot to break down there in just that little bit. I like the way he sits up on his tail. That makes me think that he's going to have some of the stuff that Macau had, where you can trip him if you hit his tail while he's leaned back on his tail. He throws those fruit while he's standing up on his tail, and he's got his, arms out, all that kind of stuff. I wonder if he has to grab fruit like the Angalala has to grab mushrooms, or if he can just do that because he's like, because I don't know where he's getting it from. That's my main thing is I don't know where he's producing the fruit from because he's throwing just tons of fruit. So I don't know, is he hiding it in his fur? Like, what's the deal there? Also, uh, doing a little research, he is based somewhat physiologically off of the Huizotl, which I probably mispronounced that because it's an Aztec word, and it was a sort of, well, let me just pull it up. It was an Aztec cryptid, basically. And it lived near the water. Yes, it had some MLP stuff, but it had like a spiky, spiny, fur pattern, and it had this long tail that had a hand on the end of it, and it had hands instead of dog feet, and it's supposed to be a lot, very, very, like, big dog-like. Some of these show it more cat-like, but, like, Apom is based off of this thing, the same thing. There was a My Little Pony character, like, and it's also worth mentioning, there's a good rendering of it that I really like. It's also worth mentioning for you history buffs that there was a ruler who had the same name, an Aztec ruler. All right, out of the weird related history that probably I'm the only one who finds interesting. I think it's time. So we get here the chief talking about the rampage. Okay, so one thing to confirmed Rethlis, we didn't have that before, but who really needed Rethlis confirmed? Uh, we have Arzuros here. We have the Great Azuchi, Tetranodon, Acnosome. These are all monsters that have been previously confirmed, but then they just kind of threw Rethlis in. I honestly don't know how I feel about them not having a full thing dedicated to Rethlis since he's a flagship, but my theory, I'll talk about it once it becomes relevant. Also, I just want to point out, like, look at the detail and just the gorgeousness and the ornateness of their armor. Well, I say armor, their robes. Like, this gold, like, neck shoulder piece. I can't help but wonder if that's that necklace is that they both have is if it's a ceremonial thing or if it's a coming of age thing. I don't know. I actually kind of hope that we get some detail into why they have some of the same things that they do, or if it's just going to be because this game is very heavily Asian culture. And I put the air quotes around that because I can't define Asian culture in one as a genre, because Asian culture is, multiple different genres. That's just to make sure I don't get canceled, honestly. So that here we see Magnamalo carrying an Arzuros in its mouth. Arzuros, yeah, it's a small monster, but it's not tiny. Arzuroses are bigger than most bears that, we would think of as Americans, a grizzly bear or whatever. It's bigger than that. To see this Magnamalo just casually carrying him in his jaws like that, it's horrifying. So also, one thing I wanted to point out is we see all of this purpley stuff, and then we see the Rise logo form out of the purpley stuff. And it, like, I think Magnamalo is going to be the driving force for the Rampage. I think that purpley stuff he's going to put off, it's going to be like Gore Magala. for those Monster Hunter fans. And he's just gonna like he's gonna be frenzying them, basically. And it's gonna drive them to attack. Here we get to see Tamagoi, the what she is labeled as the sweet tooth of the group, standing in front of what I assume is the mochi making minigame. And then we go through all of the pre-order bonus stuff, which I'm getting. I already have my pre-order in, but a big thing, demo coming January 2021. Oh my god, I'm so excited! I firmly believed that the demo would not drop until a month before, because that's usually, I mean, I think before you it didn't even drop until like 2 weeks before. Like, it's wild to me that they would just drop it, that far before. But I'm super excited about it. Okay, so now we're going to get in and we're going to watch the entirety of the first half, because I just felt like this was a better way to give the information. Here we have the guild maiden singing very beautifully. I wonder if there's... This is just an active thought. I don't know how much detail they're going to be putting into it, but I wonder if they're going to bring more light into Wyverian lore, because they make a point of showing that she's only got 3 fingers with the gloves like that, which was... I mean, we knew Wyverians had a different physiology, but we don't really have a whole ton of lore. Monster Hunter has never been great about putting out a ton of really good lore, but who knows? This might be the one. We get to see running through the village on your Palico. Also, something that was confirmed through the site is that the village will be online, so you can run through the village as if it were an online guild hub. You can run through the village with other hunters, etc., etc. It's all going to be online if you wish it to be. Also, just the style of these weapons, I love that. The lotus design, like, there's so much beautiful stuff in this generation, this run through. So we go back to this. This is what I think is the cats making mochi, because, or at least I forget the exact name of it off the top of my head, but the pounded out rice dish that is usually served in a lot of Asian cultures like this, that is pounded out. Sometimes you'll see videos of it being made on like Facebook and stuff, real clickbaity stuff. But I want to say that this is going to be a type of Palico training game. I can't really define why I think that, but I feel like it is. Also, I just want to bring attention to this beautiful mural, and it shows some Palamutes sitting in front of, at least I think those are Palamutes, they could be children, sitting in front of what I assume are hunters, or at least villagers, as they, I think, watch a play. The side over here is very hard for me to make out, but then this looks like a big guild house, which I think is why they're watching a play. This armor is the one that the hunter is wearing when fighting Somnicanth. And I wonder what armor this is going to be for. I like it though. So here we see what I'm assuming, I have to assume is the Somnicanth armor, and it's just gorgeous. And we also got confirmed that through the website that these owls will be, given to every hunter. They work kind of like an active, like scout flies that you send up once, basically. We see a hunter back here in Tetradodon armor. We see a hunter over here in whatever that super colorful armor is. And what I'm assuming is a Bishaten. It might be Bishaten armor. Actually, I think that's it could be Bishaten armor. But what I'm assuming is a Bishaten switch axe because it looks very Bishaten. We got some cats struggling over giant fish. And that's one thing. Moving around this village with all of this mobility, it's going to be so much fun. Like, I feel like the devs played a lot of Spider-Man when they were, coming up with new gimmicks and stuff. And one thing that I really like is the I can't remember the name of them. Wire bugs. So with that covered, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the new unique locales. And we're going to look at the flooded forest. A dense region of deep dark green due to a constant flow of water. The majority of this forest has become submerged. The eye-catching ruins here can be scaled using the wire bug. And then of course we have the shrine ruins. But like, just look at this. It's so gorgeous. And, I said I think it's the flooded forest. What I meant is I think it's the flooded forest from 3U. Reimagined. Because they have been known to slightly change the names, like Verdant Hills and, all that kind of stuff. But like, look at this. This is, I imagine you're going to be able to run up this and jump off. Swing from these vines. Mobility is a huge thing that they wanted to continue to promote, and I really like that. We have the waterfall here that we saw our hunters jumping across earlier with their wire bugs. It's gorgeous. It's super gorgeous. And then the last thing I want to cover is the buddies providing support. Oh, my page froze. Okay. We have our Palamutes. We know and love the Palamutes. They are very new, and I adore them. Why is everything freezing? Okay. Then we get to our Pelicos. Of course, we love them. And we get to see a little bit of the, armors and stuff. Now, one thing that I really love about the Palamutes is that they're doing really good with the armor. They look like it looks like actual armors that Palamutes would wear, whereas the Palicos have a history of having just kind of armors that would be very cute and nice and references and stuff, but they don't look like durable go-to armors. Hugin, this is the elder here, this guy. Hinoa, worth mentioning that her name in Japanese is Hinoe, but it got changed for the Western release because non-Japanese speaking languages. Hinoe. Yomogi, the chef. She is here. Komitsu, Sweet Tooth. I'm assuming she's going to be the one that will run the minigame if there is a mochi making minigame. Hammond, the blacksmith. I love a good grizzled old blacksmith, dude. And then we have Kagero, who is another Wyverian, the only other Wyverian in the lineup. And if you notice, Kimitsu and Yomogi are very short compared to Hinoa. That's because she is a Wyverian, she has digigrade legs, blah blah blah. Covered this already. And also, Kagero is another Wyverian. And I like the thing that they're doing where they're covering the male Wyverians' faces. I want to say it's because the male Wyverians, they have the bigger ears. I think it's because they have a more monstrous face, a lot more monstrous compared to the Wyverians because of how they have evolved from monsters. The owls, the horned owls, they are called cahoots. Cahoots are popular pets in Kamura, beloved for their affection and clever nature. Apart from providing some much needed comfort to hunters, they also help out on quests by showing the positions of monsters. In between quests, you can dress them up in fancy outfits, so make sure to give them the daily attention they deserve. I didn't know that you could dress them up in outfits until this very point, until reading it. Oh my god, that is so cute. I love it so much. Um, so, we're going to Kamura Village. The faculties in Kamura Village can be used by up to 4 hunters simultaneously during a multiplayer session. You can talk and have fun with other hunters while still in the village. Now, this goes into the story. The rampage is a catastrophic event where countless monsters attack the village all at once. People have lived in fear of it since ancient times, but nobody knows why it occurs. Kamura has fallen victim to this phenomenon numerous times as well, and especially the rampage that happened 50 years ago came close to wiping out the entire village. The villagers training day in, excuse me, I read that wrong. The villagers are training day in and day out to prevent this tragedy from reoccurring, and they have built a sturdy stronghold to prepare for the next invasion. Now, these pictures are in such high resolution. I love it so much. Of course, we get the super poly cannons, but, look at this dirt face. Oh my god, I love him. Tetranodon is my favorite of the newest monsters. I think that's all that I have. That's all the coverage that I can give. I am super excited. If you guys would like to play with me, let me know. I will be streaming day one if I can. Pretty sure I'll be streaming day one. I'm going to play the living hell out of Monster Hunter Rise. The weekend it comes out, I'm probably going to go AWOL for 72 hours. I was expecting her to say something, but she didn't. Yeah, I'll probably go AWOL for 72 hours, and it's just going to be amazing. There's some stuff I don't want to cover right now. I covered the ferocious monsters in the videos, unique locales, buddies providing support. We all know it's coming out on the Switch. It says a new world unfolds on the Switch. I don't know. I don't know that that's going to be a reference to Monster Hunter World. But it could be. I've heard some people speculating that it could be. I don't think so. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. Have a good day, and like and subscribe.